Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Saroka News, Bharat Gyan and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is not only current, very, very relevant. And the topic is affordability of education in India. India is and always has been a premier hub for quality education right from the time of the world-famous Nalanda University in ancient history. The dawn of the 21st century has showered light upon the enticing existence of affordable education in India. Following the independence of India from British colonial rule, the Republic's newly elected Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sought to focus on affordable education in India as one of the prime objectives for the independent nation. Since then, there has been significant development in the education sector of India, wherein government-funded colleges and universities have made this dream of affordable education in India a reality. India is a developing country with the largest youth population. The education industry has progressed with rising in the percentage of youth attending schools and colleges as compared to previous years. But not only this has shown progress, but the cost of education also has soared with great aggregates. From primary education to postgraduate degrees, parents are combating to fulfill the financial needs for their children's tutoring. Nowadays, the first criteria for the parents to choose the educational institution is not the quality standards, but the fees they have to pay. This criterion has not been in practice with the willingness of parents, as they are forced by the skyrocketing prices of education. Although in July 2020, the National Education Policy 2020 has been released, and it was officially implemented from July by our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. So to discuss this very, very important topic, that affordability of education in India, we have a very learned panel with us. They are educators, they are top in their fields, and they have very good number of years experience in this field only, and they know what is the condition of the education in India and whether it's affordable or not. So I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and he's Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran is the former visiting professor IIM Lucknow and University of Texas at Dallas, USA. He is the Senior Director of Don Bosco Group, Bangalore. He is the founder of Dr. Sharan Consultancy, California, USA. He is the Director of Eldo Private Limited, New Delhi. He has done his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad in 1980. He did PhD in 1986. He started teaching and researching business and entrepreneurship since 1984. He published research papers in reputed journals, international seminar proceedings, and chapters in books of readings. He started academic administration phase as dean in 1997, rising to executive director, controlling management and engineering institutes in 2007. Her Highness, Governor of Karnataka, nominated Dr. Sharan to the Senate of Bangalore University in recognition of his distinguished academic contributions. He was visiting professor of University of Texas at Dallas from 2012 to 2019. He also visited Washington State University and President University Indonesia on the invitation of the Dean Faculty of Business in 2018. He innovated and implemented a unique model to double the turnover with existing infrastructure in one accounting year. He is co-promoter of the Institute of Family Business Management Society. He is honorary director of NCR Delhi-based high-tech B2B digital startup. He is also co-founder of OWGI Foundation, which promotes social entrepreneurship ventures. Welcome, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran on our show. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran as you know, the condition of education, and you have a very close idea about the education, cost of the education in India, whether it's a primary education, secondary education, higher education, or professional education like medical, engineering, etc. Now, we would like to know your views on affordability of education in India. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for giving me this opportunity of being with you. I am really honored to be here deliberating upon something which is very close to the hearts and minds of every Indian today. What at the outset I'd like to emphasize is affordability is a very complex concept when applied to education. Let me make this complex idea as simple as possible so that we can grasp and make decisions as stakeholders. My focus is to understand the affordability issue at various levels and in its various domains. Allow me to say that affordability, first and foremost, is a relative word. What I mean by saying it is relative is, if I am a businessman, let us say Shri Kumar Mangalam Birla, he has a different level of income and he can afford a particular set of educational options, not only in India, but speaking globally. On the other hand, same Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla has hired a personal driver. That driver has different set of income and he has certain set of options which are excluded but included for his employer. So affordability in that sense is a relative word, and we should keep in mind, I will request my co-panelists to keep this issue and deliberate upon this aspect. The second thing is, affordability is basically a financial issue, but then it has also psychological terms. When I was a graduate student, I did not think IIM Ahmedabad was reachable for me. When a senior of mine mentioned that I take a combined admission test in the year 77, I said, "Are you joking with me, sir?" So affordability also is psychological issue. Can I afford this education emotionally? It is a separate story that I was very fortunate that senior gave me convincing argument. He spent 1.5 days with me. I ultimately wrote CAT and got it. So the other aspect of affordability is it is a complete set of individuals. It's not affordable to the student only. It is not affordable to the guardians, but what in marketing we say, reference group. It is a specific term in marketing with a specific meaning. The reference group can be elders, relatives, it can be peers, or it can be a third source in today's world, and today's world is digital age. So affordability reference group can also come from social media platforms where I am having my allegiances. This is the second aspect. The third aspect, let me try to concretize it. This mug had a cost which a chartered accountant will estimate very precisely if he has costing background. A commerce student also will be able to compute it. An MBA will be able to compute it. An economic graduate will be able to compute it. And a person with general knowledge, common sense also will be able to compute what is the cost of this. Now, I want to focus on two aspects. The cost is a function of who is producing and how efficient that organization and individual is. I can produce this with a efficient management in, let us say, 25 rupees. But similar quality can be achieved by a less efficient person in twice the cost, 50 rupees. Now you see the pricing has to be taking into account these two facts. On top of it, it has to take in account the volume of demand, which is a function of capacity which I have. So, looking at these three things, when I consider education, it is very easy to fall into common errors with respect to this, which we come across every day. That either I'm aspiring for an institution and a qualification which my psychological preparedness or my financial position does not allow. So therefore, what is affordable for Kumar Mangalam Birla rationally is not rationally affordable to the driver he has hired. This is the third point, Mr. Goel, which is very important, where we are talking about affordability of education. If we forget about these practical things, then we walk into errors and create a lot of noise and lot of confusion. And I will say it is very pathetic mistake, both on the side of choosing a program which is unaffordable for the student and family, and both in terms of what was achievable, but we missed it. Type 1 error, type 2 error, both are applicable here. This is very pathetic because had I not gone to that best place where I could learn management, today perhaps I will not be able to conceptualize what I'm sharing with you, because education is the thing which shapes the whole person. That education is a benchmark. So this is a second dimension, that when we are talking about affordability, you did mention quality. Once upon a time, we were world leaders in quality in the days of Nalanda University, Takshashila University. Today, also we are world leaders in certain domains of education, not across the spectrum. Takshashila was a university, it was not a school, Mr. Goel. So we were leaders in higher domains of abstraction, not in the basic education. And therefore, if you look at the fees, you also have to include other expenses. Otherwise, the affordability is not a fairly well understood concept. What I'm trying to say is, if the school charges 15,000 rupees per month for my daughter, then the distance between my home and the school, transportation has to be there. Then all those extra things which school charges, they have built infrastructure, so they'll charge development fund. Should that be part of tuition, or should it not be part of tuition? Now, the honest institutions will say that the building cost and the infrastructure acquisition will not be part of tuition. Tuition is a specific concept. So the fourth point which I am bringing before our respected co-panelist, Mr. Goel, for our deliberation today, so that we understand the issue, is that affordability is not one number. it is made by very many important number like tuition fees, development fees, transportation fees, extracurricular fees, uniform fees, and so on and so forth. All these are included. Now, to keep my conversation short, I will come to the final point which I want to make is the affordability is also part of intention of the education provider. And since education is the noblest gift the promoter of educational institution give, the professors and principal and educators give, the non-teaching staff which they provide is the most pious service. So here, the value of a scholar and a scholarship is paramount. And what I find in developed countries, scholarships make education affordable in many domains. But in India, very few institutions have resorted to this one. One personal experience, last year on 4th of February, one distinguished enlightened gentleman somehow thought of me. He invited me to distribute a scholarship amounting to 2 crore rupees approximately. He owns and runs 9 colleges in Bangalore. And those students who score above 90%, they get different amounts of a scholarship. I said that it is so nice of you because I could not have studied agriculture if I did not get a scholarship. I could not have done my master's in economics if I did not have a national scholarship from Indian Council of Agricultural Research. And I could not have completed my IIM Ahmedabad education if I did not get government scholarship. So I am a product of a scholarship that made all my education possible. So final concluding point I'm saying is, let all the generous people in different walks of society, India and abroad, think about making this as an important platform-based foundation so that education becomes affordable for the meritorious people. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I'm sure my respected co-panelists will fill in and build on this foundation and framework which I have created. Looking forward to a very nice conversation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, for giving your views. And as Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran mentioned very clearly about the different aspects of affordability of education. And what he says that affordability is a word which we cannot term as for the general, because he mentioned that like Kumar Mangalam Birla can afford education anywhere in the world, but his driver can afford definitely because he is also quite highly paid. He can also afford, but he cannot afford the education what Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla's children can afford. Similarly, if you will go down below, many cannot even afford that type of education what the driver is affording. But what he says is that this education is a very noble profession. And when it's a very noble profession, one has to see that every child of the country should get the best opportunity, the best education, whatsoever is available, whether through the less fees or through the scholarship, which he says is a very, very good concept. And he mentioned that even the developed country, this scholarship is for those students who are really meritorious and those who can show some results. And he himself says that he is a product of scholarship because he has got all the scholarships from agriculture, for commerce, post-graduation, for even IIM Ahmedabad. So he says that it has to be done in such a way that no student should be left without a quality education because of the affordability. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, for giving your very, very enlightened views. I'm sure that our viewers who are watching our show will come to know, because it's very easy to criticize government or criticize educational institutions, but one has to understand the difference. One has to understand their problems, their challenges, what they are facing the challenges, and how it is difficult even to provide the quality education. So there are so many aspects which we are going to discuss during the course of our this media conference. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Miss Shalini Mahalwar. Ms. Shalini is the director of Shanti Niketan World School, Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. She is 22 years in the field of education. Ms. Shalini, you have heard what Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran has mentioned, and he is very, very clear in his aspect that there are ways one can make the education affordable to everyone by giving a scholarship or by sponsoring whatnot. But according to him, the affordability is also a psychological thing. One can create a perception, I will not go, it's beyond my reach. But if he or she try, the student try, tomorrow nobody knows, but he may get a scholarship. So one can go to a premier school or college anywhere in the India or world. So now we would like to know, because you being a director of a school and you know the challenges which a school is facing today, and especially last 2 years were very bad for the schools, private schools, where because of the COVID, the collection of the fees, the payment to the faculties, it's a very, very hard time. But definitely we would like to know your views on the affordability of education in India. Ms. Shalini Mahalwar, please. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lal, for inviting me.
Can you just keep your this stable, because it's moving, it's a live telecast.
Thank you, Mr. Lal, for inviting me and giving me a chance to speak here. Affordability of education in India. If I talk about it, it is very necessary. Last year, we implemented one thing, and you can say we did an experiment from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. To every girl child, we gave we waiver of about 15% of the tuition fees. And it was very well, it gave a good effect. So this year in 21-22, what we have done is that from class 1 to class 12, every girl child, we have waived 20% of their tuition fees, so that each and every girl child can have a good education. So I think affordability is very necessary to, in education line, as Mr. Already said that that the education should be affordable. And as Mr. Lal, you said that Mr. Birla, his children can have a good education, and his driver, their children cannot have. I believe in that these days the education has become more of a commercial pattern, and parents also want that. These days, every parent come and ask me, do you have an air-conditioned school? Do you have this? Do you have that? But if we talk about our old system, we used to study under a tree, and they were very, बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग थे वो लोग. आज उतनी पढ़ाई हमारे टीचर्स में भी नहीं है. So I think the education should not be a business. It should be affordable education. And always, I always believe that education should be given, it should not be sold. These days, what we are seeing is education is being sold by most of the schools. It can be in any manner. If we talk about tuition fee, the other like building, in a building form or in any other form, cultural activities, we take, the schools take so much of amount from the parents. Their pocket might not afford all these things. So these things should not be charged from the parents. A good education should be given, and that should be affordable also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Shalini, for giving your views. And Ms. Shalini is very clear that the education should not be made a business. It should not be sold. It should be given to everyone, and the charges should be minimum. And she's also mentioned that the charges which the institutions are charging for the building and all other facilities should not be charged from the parents. And
definitely not. And even if the school is organizing any of the program, it is school's program. I don't think so. The parents should be charged for that. The school has that much of fun, because what we are doing, like we have waived 20% of the girl child, every girl child from 1st to 12th. Almost, if I calculate it, it must be a very, in percentage wise, I must be down in, my total amount which I must be getting it. But then the girls should be, they should be because most of the time what used to happen, Mr. Lal, जब भी कोई पेरेंट आता था, वो अपनी बच्ची के लिए कह देता था कि चलो इसको हम दूसरे किसी छोटे स्कूल में पढ़ा लेते हैं, बेटे को हम अच्छी एजुकेशन में दे देते हैं. So it used to hurt me a lot. And then I just had a word, because we are into total education line. I talked to my husband. I said, why every time the parents say कि चलो बच्ची को तो हम किसी छोटे स्कूल में पढ़ा लेंगे, लड़की को और लड़के को अच्छा एजुकेशन दिलवा देंगे. Why this bias thing is there in our society? So from last year, from 9th to 12th, we did this experiment. We waived 15% of the fee, and it gave us a very good response, and parents really appreciated. And this year, from 1st to 12th, we have waived for every girl child, like 20% of the fees, tuition fees has been waived off. It may be a big loss, if I say, but if I talk about a society, then I'm very much, I think I'm doing a very noble cause. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि एक लड़की को पढ़ाते हैं तो आप कितने घर को पढ़ा देते हैं. तो यही मेरा, जो हो रहा. I think I'll not take.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Shalini. And this is a very good point which you have raised, that the girl child in India, unfortunately, when we talk about the affordability, one new point I must say for Professor Saran, that affordability also is gender-based. For boy, the parents think that we can afford for a higher education of boy, we can pay more. But for the girl child, it is always least priority, and they say we cannot afford. And we have seen during the COVID, so many students, and especially the girl child, has to sit home because they cannot afford. But again, the affordability, and it is not here only, it's in all aspects. Even in organ donation in India, 94% of the donors in India are women, and 84% recipients are men. So one can imagine, which should be 50-50, how much, because the sister can donate her kidney to her brother, wife can donate to husband, the mother can donate to the son, but not vice versa, that husband will donate to the wife or the brother will donate to the sister, or the father will, or the son will donate to the mother. So when this is the situation, if you are doing this type of thing, that you are giving discounts or relaxations or scholarship to the girl child, it's really a very noble cause which you are doing. I must salute you. And I feel that if in our country, if all the educators should understand that we have to uplift all the those who are underprivileged, then only the country can be Vishguru, not by women talking or giving some slogans. Thank you very much, Ms. Shanli Malwa, for giving your views. Yes. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Dr. Raj Lakshmi Srivastava. Dr. Raj Lakshmi Srivastava is the head of the Management Department, United University Prayagraj. Dr. Raj Lakshmi has over 18 years of rich experience in academics as well as corporate. She has excellence in stress management and work-life balance of executives and teams. She is holding key positions in her academic life. Her unique perspectives comes from working within different domains like academics, CSR, cultural, women and child development, skill empowerment, trainer, counselor, and life coach. Dr. Raj Lakshmi applies her expertise in the area like individual and group behavior, motivation, team building, stress management, personality and work-life balance with the help of psychometric tools, which is indeed an eye-opener for participants. Welcome, Dr. Raj Lakshmi Srivastava on our show. Dr. Raj Lakshmi Srivastava, you have heard Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran as well as Ms. Shalini Mehalwar. Both have explained about the affordability. Professor Dr. Saran has given a different dimensions about the affordability, while Ms. Shalini mentioned about the gender-wise in the affordability, how parents cannot afford the education for the girl child, but same parent can afford for the boy child. So now we would like to know, because you have a very unique thing, that you have a experience of corporate as well as academics. So you have seen both the side of the coin, because corporates are running many colleges, schools, not from now, from very beginning. And nowadays, so it has become a very big business module for the big corporates. So almost all the big corporate houses are in this field. And you are also seeing the academic side, and you are associated with a reputed university, that is United University Prayagraj, where there is a medical college also. And we know the affordability in the medical education, which we are going to discuss afterwards, but you can very well knowing because you are in that university which also runs a medical college. So we would like to know your views on the affordability of education in India. Dr. Raj Lakshmi Srivastava, please.
Thank you so much, sir. This is Dr. Raj Lakshmi from United University, as all of you know. So with the line, I just want to start my discussion that live if you have to die tomorrow, and learn if you have to learn forever. Fine. So in terms of education, when we speak, I'm very much agree with Dr. Sudhir Saran, but sir said that it's a psychological concept also. We never see the ROI, return on investment. We always
I think Professor Saran, please unmute. Yeah, some problem is there, or I can't hear.
I am are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Professor Raj Lakshmi's video hanged.
Okay. That's why I wanted to confirm that it is from. Yeah, Dr. Raj Lakshmi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. There was some network glitch. So I just believe that the awareness is lacking. Fine. And it's again a psychological concept that Dr. Shalini madam said, ki we have to be very, very biased with the boys, like male child, as well as the female are concerned to be, you know, on the lower part as far as the academic is concerned. I just want to tell you about my own history, my own case, that we are three sisters. And like we all were like well versed in academics. All of us were doing good. The younger one is the vice president at JP Morgan, New York. Elder one is working with Microsoft US, and I was also been to the US for quite a few years. I was done a project at University of Washington. But yes, there was a big gap when we were, you know, in a joint family. Always there was a gap that everything whichever they want to give in the best is to the boys. As we were only three sisters, but definitely our side was always lacking. अगर घर में घी भी देना है तो लड़कों को मिलता था, लड़कियों को नहीं मिलता था. I've seen that time also. अगर घर में लाइट नहीं, हम छत पे सो रहे हैं तो सर के नीचे से तकिया हमारे हटाया जाता था, just pillow. And because boys has to sleep quietly, and all boys are in the private sector, they are doing, you know, small farmer job because they were so pampered. We know the value of education so well. You take the example of all the three goddesses. You take the example of Saraswati, the goddess of all education. You take the example of all empowerment, you know, energy, that the goddess Durga is there. And if you consider the Lakshmi, all the money. So still we are not getting that same pace in the society. Still we are far behind than males. But I'm very much thankful to the, you know, the new education policy, the NAP has been launched, where we can really do a lot of creativity in education. Affordability का अगर हम बात करें तो, you know, this the opening of 23 IITs and 20 IIMs, it's a big number where we get easily loans and all. But the thing is that awareness is not there. I know many of the policies. I work with AIT Bangkok also. So many policies, so many scholarships are already there. Children are even not knowing. It is one scholarship, DST Aspire scholarship. जिसमें every year, you know, it's going blank from the India side, because the students are even not aware about that Asian scholarships. So my like request, my appeal to all the people who are hearing me as a knowledge sharer, that please be aware, source for awareness, as we all know that that right to education. Right to education is already there. When we have a compulsory education and free education to all the children, especially the girl child, to give like meal, food, other things from in the age between 6 to 14 years. So the only thing is lacking is reverse brain drain is coming. Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has already started Make in India, Skillful India, all the concepts are there. So it's our moral responsibility to look forward, to go ahead, and you have to work for the society. You have to make everything so affordable, because lots of scholarships are there, lots of things are there, but people are not aware. Reverse brain drain, as the Honorable Professor Sudhir said, that yes, people should come forward, they should sponsor the like education to the poor children, and I totally agree. I love to just share the small news that I'm also running an NGO for underprivileged children. It's known of Apni Pathshala, and where we are having 110 students working under my guidance, and their mothers are also getting lots of skill development program from my side. So I feel so proud that I'm helping so many students, and I'm providing their admission in a good colleges. I'm fighting for their admission, and I'm telling you, lots of politics are already there. As Shalini madam also knows that school is again going to be a business only. Whenever we used to go, 25% seats are reserved, but where is that 25% seats? They are only meant for their own people. As sir said, Aditya Birla ji ke driver ko milna hai, wo seat to unhi ko milega. A common person cannot go and reach, and that is the basic part where we are lacking actually. So definitely, if I'll come with the affordability as far as the country concerned, I have a data that India ranks 6th, and when the affordability of the abroad education is concerned, the first rank goes to the Norway, then Taiwan, Germany, France, Mexico, and then our own country, India. So still we are not far behind as far as affordability is concerned. Government is giving lots of scholarship, but my purview is that awareness is a problem, promotion is a problem, political corruption is a problem, and we as educationists should come together and solve this issue. That is a real problem from core of my heart. When sir said this topic, it was so close to my heart. I had a talk with Goel sir, and when affordability comes now, I always feel that every child who deserve must get. Bigger people are giving lots of facility to their child. स्कूल में एसी नहीं है तो प्रॉब्लम. आपने कभी सोचा उन बच्चों के लिए जो बहुत ब्रिलियंट हैं और वो एक लालटेन के नीचे आज भी पढ़ रहे हैं, कि हम उनके लिए कुछ काम कर पा रहे हैं? शायद नहीं. Because we are so much concerned with our own child, we are so much concerned with our own money, then where the societal responsibility is concerned, responsibility. Sometimes it is always on, like on paper, they are giving things. Triple P concept is there, public-private partnership. I was a part of Ankuram also, where we see that government teachers are getting so many high salary, but there is no child, no teacher, right? You all know this fact. So we have to come forward, we have to sit together, and we have to form some good policies to really reciprocate this problem. So this is all from my side, that awareness, promotion, and strengthen each other is the most important thing. When the affordability will definitely be there, every child will be there, because right to education is already there. Fine, 25% reserved seats are already there. If you see the fees of the rural areas and urban area difference, and I have the data that the average fee for a semester is 32,000, and in same with the urban is 64,000. So just double difference. Still the population, there is rural population is 70% in our country. So we have to work along with each other for this development. Then only our country will be the best in this world, because we know that the best brain in the world is Indian brain, and we always appreciate this. So Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajlakshmi. I'm wondering whether I am for the topic of affordability or politics or charitable work, because I'm so happy that if the educators are doing charity, like Dr. Rajlakshmi is doing with it through her NGO, this is something. This shows that how much awareness is there as far as the charity is concerned. But the reservation which she raised about the awareness, about the people are not aware about the scholarships are available, and who is lacking? This is the lacking of our own society. And she mentioned about Devi Durga, Saraswati, Lakshmi. My take about this is that in India, we always worship these Devis during the Navdurgas. After that, we are ready to rape, we are ready to humiliate, we are ready for domestic violence. So in India, to say that we are very much God-fearing, no, we are not God-fearing. We just want to show off that we are celebrating Navratras. Otherwise, we have no respect. We means I can take that generally. And that's why our country is having such type of bad record as far as these types of domestic violence and rapes are concerned, even with the small children. So one has to understand that and this is because of the lack of good education. As Dr. Rajlakshmi has mentioned very clearly, one thing, that every child should be educated. If we will educate all the child, then definitely the country, we have brains, as she says, we have the best brain, but unfortunately, we are not getting the Nobel Prize for last so many years, because our brains are going abroad and they are doing work, so the others are taking advantage. So we have to do many things so that the country will be the real Vishguru, which is possible. Only thing is the educators, if all the educators will decide, as Dr. Rajlakshmi said, we all should come together and do something. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajlakshmi Srivastava, for giving your very, very strong views. I'm sure your views should be taken. All the views should be taken by the government and the civil society seriously. We have to change our mindset. Then only we can do many things for the education. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my last but not the least panelist, and she's Miss Neeraj Mathuria. Miss Mathuria, are you there? Please switch on your video. Miss Neeraj Mathuria. Yeah, you are there. Okay. Miss Neeraj Mathuria is the head mistress of primary school Bad Mathura. She is a state awardee teacher. After finishing MSc in physics and electronics, she did MEd and BTC. She is a recipient of a State Teachers Award presented to her by Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Yogi Adityanath. And I would like to add in this, one moment, please. I think some disturbance is coming. Okay. I would like to add one thing that Ms. Mathuria is always for the thinking and always working for the upliftment of the government school. It's a primary government school. And recently I read in the newspaper, she got the land allotted, now building plans, and one single-headed, and that's why she has been given so many awards by the government. And after, one can understand, after doing her MSc in physics and electronics and MEd and BTC, she is working in a primary school, and that too government school. This also shows her commitment for the education. Thank you very much, Ms. Neeraj Mathuria, for joining. You have heard your views, the views of Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, Ms. Shalini Mehlwal, as well as Dr. Srivastava. And all have given their views, very, very clear views, strong views. अब आपसे हम जानना चाहेंगे, तो मुझे पता है आप हिंदी में बोलना पसंद करती हैं, तो आपसे अब जानना हम चाहेंगे आपके क्या विचार हैं, क्योंकि आज शिक्षा, हम हायर एजुकेशन की सब बात करते हैं ज्यादातर लोग, क्योंकि हमारा मेडिकल ऐसा, IIMs ऐसे, IITs ऐसे, लेकिन जब तक एक कहते हैं नींव अच्छी नहीं होगी, ऊपर की इमारत कितनी भी आप खूबसूरत बना लें वो ज्यादा नहीं टिक पाएगी। और आप वो उस नींव को आप के और शालिनी जी के दम पे वो नींव चल रही है, बाकी लोग जो हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं वो ऊपर वाले हैं। तो आपका जो विचार में हम जानना चाहेंगे कि क्या आपके हिसाब से जो आज का अपना टॉपिक है अफोर्डेबिलिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन इन इंडिया, आपका क्या विचार है? मिस नीरज मथुरिया प्लीज।
धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सबसे पहले तो आपको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन, आपको इतना बड़ा अवार्ड मिला है जैसा मुझे पता चला, बहुत बहुत बधाई है सर। और अभी मैंने डॉक्टर सरन और डॉक्टर राजलक्ष्मी जी और शालिनी मैडम को सुना, तो कहते हैं कि विद्वानों की सभा में मतलब ज्यादा बोलना सही नहीं है हम जैसे को, पर फिर भी आपने मौका दिया, इसके लिए बहुत धन्यवाद। तो मैं, जैसे आपने बताया कि नींव, तो हमारा काम, जैसे बेसिक स्कूल में मैं टीचर हूँ और बेसिक से ही मतलब हमारी नींव स्टार्ट होती है। अब क्या है कि जैसे मैम ने बोला कि लड़की और लड़के का भेदभाव हम देखते हैं समाज में, तो आप ये देखिए कि हमारे स्कूल में एडमिशन कराने आएंगे लोग बाग, तो क्या अगर जो बेटा बेटी दोनों होंगे तो बेटी का एडमिशन कहेंगे चलो सरकारी में करा देते, फ्री है क्योंकि, और ना बेटे का तो हम अच्छे स्कूल में कराएंगे। तो ये बात इतनी मतलब मुझे पंच होती है कि ये मतलब ये सोच बदलनी है मुझे। मैं उन्हें ये दिखाना चाहती हूँ कि आप एक दिन ये कहोगे कि मुझसे गलती हो गई कि मैंने सरकारी में लड़के को नहीं करा। हमने उन्हें अच्छी से अच्छी एजुकेशन दिलाने के लिए इतनी प्रयास किए हैं, इतनी कोशिशें हमारी जारी हैं कि जैसे आपने पहले भी हम लोग ने आपको बताया था कि हमारा तो एक ही रूम है, और उसके बाद ये मतलब 1960 से स्कूल है, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल है, कोई ऐसा स्कूल भी नहीं था वो, उसमें किसी ने इस पे आवाज ही नहीं उठाई कि मतलब एक कमरे में सब कुछ कैसे हो सकता है। अब ये जब हमने सोचा और लेटर वगैरह लिखे, मेल्स करे, तो स्टार्टिंग में सबने बड़ा नेगेटिव लिया इसको, ये ऐसे तो कभी होगा ही नहीं। और पर ऐसा नहीं है, जब मेहनत करते हैं तो होता ही जाएगा। और अब इसी का नतीजा है कि लखनऊ से और मतलब शासन के द्वारा हमें वो लैंड दे दी गई जिसकी आप अभी चर्चा कर रहे थे, और अब मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि एक अच्छा स्कूल बन गया। भविष्य में कोशिश जारी है, कैसे भी बनेगा, जरूर बनेगा, तो और ज्यादा हम अच्छा बच्चों के लिए कर पाएंगे। अब हम हमारा जो टॉपिक है उस पर आएंगे। तो अब ये हम सब जानते हैं कि एजुकेशन तो वही सफल भविष्य का आधार है, पर सभी के लिए शिक्षा भी होनी चाहिए। पर क्या ये वाकई में सभी के लिए है? नहीं है। अब मान लो सरकार ने कह दिया कि 6 से 14 वर्ष के बच्चों को निःशुल्क शिक्षा है, तो लोगों की धारणा ऐसी है कि गवर्नमेंट में नहीं पढ़ाएंगे, प्राइवेट में वो एडमिशन ले लेंगे, उनके कुछ पैसे हो जाएंगे, तो उसके बाद उनको उनका धंधा पानी या जो भी बिजनेस है वो नहीं चल पा रहा है, तो बच्चे घर पे बैठ गए। तो ये लॉस कौन भरेगा? इतना मतलब जो बच्चा पढ़ना चाहता है उसके लिए जरूर रास्ते खुलने चाहिए। अब बहुत से हर एक बच्चा तो अच्छे घर में पैदा नहीं हो रहा है, तो जो ऐसे बच्चे हैं उनके लिए हमें क्या करना है, सरकार को क्या करना है? माता पिता परेशान है, गहरे विचार में अब क्या करें, कैसे करें। अब नौकरी कैसे खोजें, कैसे एक बच्चे को निराश ना होने दें। विश्वविद्यालय की फीस का भुगतान नहीं कर पा रहे बच्चे, ट्यूटर भी चाहिए, परीक्षा की तैयारी में मदद के लिए भी अतिरिक्त खर्चा चाहिए, तो ये सब कहाँ से आएगा? इसका नतीजा क्या होता है? इसका नतीजा ये होता है कि धन की आवश्यकता होती है, धन है नहीं, शिक्षा बीच में छूट गई। पूरे देश पे इसका प्रभाव पड़ रहा है। देश कहाँ जा रहा है कि बच्चा जो बीच में ड्रॉप आउट बच्चे होते हैं, एक सुनने में बड़ा वो लगता है कि अरे बच्चे की पढ़ाई छूट गई, कुछ लोग एक तबके की पढ़ाई छूट गई, पर ये बहुत गलत सोच है, क्योंकि यही बच्चे तो भारत का आधार है। ज्यादातर जनता सब तो अमीर है नहीं। उसके बाद अब हम देख रहे हैं कि कम उम्र में बच्चे ने बिना पढ़े लिखे थोड़ी सी पढ़ाई के बाद ही अनुभव और ज्ञान के आधार पर किसी फैक्ट्री में या किसी काम पर लग गए। तो क्या मिला उन्हें? उनकी कोई उपलब्धि नहीं है। नतीजा ऐसे लोगों की संख्या बढ़ती जा रही है। अब हमारे देश में जो विकास होना चाहिए तभी वो आज तक विकसित नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि ये सब हो ही नहीं पा रहा है। मुफ्त शिक्षा हमें हर एक बच्चे को देनी होगी, ये तो उसका अधिकार है। अब भारत में शिक्षा की प्रकृति को अगर जो हम समरूप और व्यापक नहीं बनाएंगे तो कैसे हमारा भारत आगे बढ़ेगा? इसीलिए हमने बहुत कोशिशें की कि ये भी सोचा कि ऐसे नहीं सोचें कि भाई आज हमें क्यों दुख हो रहा है कि हमारा स्कूल छोटा है, क्यों हमने इतनी मेहनत की। 2014 में मैंने पहली बार एप्लीकेशन दी थी स्कूल के लिए, और जब से लगे आज इतने साल हो गए तब ये स्कूल का काम हुआ। तो इतनी देर क्यों लगाई गवर्नमेंट ने? मतलब ये काम गवर्नमेंट का है कि उसे देखना चाहिए कहाँ स्कूल छोटा है, कहाँ बेकार है, कहाँ फैसिलिटी नहीं है। तो ये काम हमारा नहीं था, पर हमने किया। पर हम जैसा और कोई बहुत कम लोग हैं, सभी ऐसा या तो सोचें तब तो ये गैप भरेगा, नहीं तो नहीं भर पाएगा। शिक्षा हर बच्चे का अधिकार है, सब बोल देंगे। लड़का लड़की में भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए, सब बोल देंगे। पर इससे मानता कितना लोग हैं? आपने इतनी अच्छी बात कही अभी कि 9 दुर्गा में तो बहुत लोग पूजा पाठ करते हैं, उसके बाद क्या होता है? कोई इज्जत नहीं है लड़कियों की। तो ये वास्तव में सच्चाई कही है आपने। मेरे को बहुत अच्छी लगी आपकी बात कि देवी दुर्गा को, लक्ष्मी जी को पूजते हैं, पर वास्तव में पूछते हैं हम लोग कुछ नहीं। जो अच्छे घरों के लोग भी हैं वो भी मदद नहीं कर सकते। हाँ, वो अपने बच्चों के लिए अच्छा कर रहे हैं, पर मदद के लिए आगे इतनी इजीली नहीं आते। ये सब गलत है। अब हमें ये सब सोच कैसे आई? मान लो मेरी सोच अच्छी है, आपकी अच्छी है, तो कैसे आई? एजुकेशन से। अब हमने एजुकेशन अच्छी ले ली तो हम में ये सोच आ रही है। अब वो जो लोग हैं उनमें भी ऐसी सोच होगी, पर वो पढ़ नहीं पा रहे, उन्हें है ही नहीं उनके लिए साधन। और उच्च शिक्षा की तो क्या बात ही क्या करनी, कि वो तो इतनी महंगी है। मान लो 14 वर्ष तक फ्री पढ़ भी लिया बच्चा, तो आगे कैसे सफल होगा? अब आप यूक्रेन की घटना देखो, वहां से छात्र लौट के आ रहे हैं। एक उसका इंटरव्यू मैंने देखा, उसमें टीवी पे एक सुखबीर पता नहीं क्या करके था, हाँ सुखमनदीप सिंह लड़का था, वो बता रहा था कि मैं मेडिकल की पढ़ाई वहां कर रहा हूँ। क्यों कर रहे हैं बच्चे वहां पढ़ाई? क्योंकि अपने देश में तो मेडिकल की पढ़ाई इतनी महंगी है, इतने सारे उसके आधार बना दिए कि हर कोई उससे पार ही नहीं कर पा रहा। तो बच्चे और देश में जा रहे हैं। यूक्रेन में क्यों गए आज बच्चे? इसीलिए गए क्योंकि अब लोग तो कह रहे हैं वहां पढ़ने चले गए थे, सब तरह की बातें आती हैं, पर गए क्यों? ये कारण है क्योंकि वहां सस्ती मेडिकल पढ़ाई है, वहां पे सस्ता पढ़ रहा है। इंडिया में इतना महंगा और मुश्किल हो रहा है, तो बच्चे वहां पे जाने के लिए मजबूर है। तो हम भारत सरकार को इस और सोचना चाहिए। जो बच्चे स्कॉलरशिप वगैरह, जैसे मैम ने भी बताया और सर ने भी बताया, ये सब करना चाहिए। इतना मुझे जो लगता है, जैसे मतलब मैं तो बेसिक की टीचर हूँ, जो मैंने महसूस किया है कि अगर जो हमारे भी स्कूलों में इतने टैलेंटेड बच्चे हैं, इतना अच्छा बच्चे बोल सकते हैं, कर सकते हैं, पर हम उन्हें 5th तक 8th के बाद उनका कुछ पता नहीं है कहाँ गए वो बच्चे, क्योंकि आगे उनके लिए सरकार को और बढ़ाना चाहिए। पर मैं खुश हूँ कि न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बहुत कुछ सोचा गया है और ये वाकई अच्छी है, क्योंकि इसमें अगर जो इसमें सरकारों को शामिल नहीं किया इसको बनाने के लिए, इसमें शिक्षकों को, अभिभावकों को, बच्चों को, इन सबको लिया और इनके राय के अकॉर्डिंग इसको बनाया, और ये वाकई लागू प्रॉपरली हो जाए, ईमानदारी से हो जाए, तो बहुत कुछ बेहतर होगा। जहां तक मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत अच्छा रहेगा और इसमें सारी चीजों को ध्यान रखा गया है। बहुत ऐसे मतलब इसमें 18 वर्ष कर दिया, जो 6 से 14 वर्ष था पहले निःशुल्क शिक्षा, वो 18 ईयर्स तक कर दिया, तो एक अच्छी बात ये भी रही। दूसरी, उच्च शिक्षा में भी बहुत सारे रूलिंग आए हैं कि उसमें कोर्स में कोई बीच में छूट भी जाएगा तो उन्हें सर्टिफिकेट तो मिलेगा। तो बहुत सारे बदलाव किए हैं। अगर जो हम छोटे छोटे कदमों से स्टार्ट करें, हम बेसिक एजुकेशन की तरफ भी गवर्नमेंट बहुत ध्यान दे रही है। आज हमारे सोचो तो बेसिक एजुकेशन में हर चीज बच्चों को मुफ्त दी जा रही है, उन्हें ड्रेस दे रहे हैं, जूते दे रहे हैं, बैग दे रहे हैं, स्वेटर दे रहे हैं, खाना भी दे रहे हैं। तो ये बहुत अच्छा कदम है। कई लोग कहते हैं अरे दलिया वाला स्कूल है तुम्हारा, तो कुछ पढ़ाई वढ़ाई तो होती नहीं, खाना वाना खिलाते हैं। पर वो लोग ये नहीं जान पा रहे कि उन बच्चों के पास खाना है ही नहीं, तो उन्हें वो खाना कितना सपोर्ट करता है। जब हम छुट्टियों के बाद, समर वेकेशन के बाद स्कूल खोलते हैं, तो आप यकीन नहीं करोगे सब बच्चे कमजोर आते, क्योंकि वो मजदूरों के बच्चे हैं, नहीं उनके घर में प्रॉपर फूड, उसके बावजूद भी वो पढ़ रहे हैं, और बहुत से तो बहुत अच्छा पढ़ रहे हैं। तो उनसे आप एक हायर स्टैंडर्ड बच्चे से उसको कंपटीशन करते हैं। बहुत से लोग कहते हैं टीचर्स को इतनी सैलरी मिल रही है, क्या करते हैं ये बताओ, इनके बच्चे तो अच्छे नहीं है। तो ये भी सोचना चाहिए कि उनका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, उनके घर में कोई पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है। हमने केवी वगैरह जो मैम ने अभी बताई 25% फ्री होता है, वो मैम ने बताया कि वो उन्हीं लोगों को फ्री होता है। ये बात बिल्कुल सही है। मैंने भी केवी में बात की 2-4 स्कूलों में कि हमारे स्कूल के बच्चे आप 25% में ले लें, वो बहुत गरीब हैं, अच्छे हैं, 6 क्लास में ले लें। तो वो बोल रहे कि नहीं, वो रूल तो फर्स्ट क्लास से है, तो आप उन्हें भेजो। मैं कहा फर्स्ट में तो हम ही पढ़ा लेंगे, ऐसा 6 में भी तो होना चाहिए रूल। आगे बच्चा कहाँ जाएगा जो बच्चा इंटेलिजेंट है? हमारा तो 5th तक स्कूल है बस, फिर वो नहीं पढ़ पाएगा। तो ये सारी बातें मैंने जो महसूस की, देखी, और वो मैंने आपसे शेयर की। और हो सकता है थोड़ा बहुत कुछ गलत हो गया हो, पर ऐसे मैंने बताया। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद नीरज मथुरिया जी आपका। एंड
थैंक यू सर।
टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, you made me emotional, although I am very stone hearted, but I feel the way you have spoken with your heart, you have given the views which are this reality, and that's why I wanted this panel in a different way, because I want the public should understand, the viewer should know what is the reality. When we talk about the affordability, when we talk about IIMs, IITs, we talk all the big medical colleges, we should also think about the primary schools. As Ms. Mathuria has mentioned, that how they are running a school in one room up to from 1st standard to 5th standard. One can imagine how the students can study in one room and all the classes in one room. Although I know that there are many schools, Professor Saran knows, because I know Professor Saran, how he studied. Then the night, it is used as a for the cow shed, and the morning it is a school. But that was earlier time, not now. We are in 21st century, and if still this is the condition, she says application was moved into 2014, and we are now 2022. 8 years took place to get the land allotted. This shows that it's, and it is not only, we should not blame the government, we should also blame the civil society, because we are not interested to see that the education to be given importance. We always think of the higher education or other things, not about the primary education, which is the foundation of everything. Thank you very much, Ms. Neeraj Mathuria, for giving very honest views of you, and I'm sure the way you have spoken today, it will definitely be a awakening call for many of our viewers, and might be for some government officials also, and they should see to it that those who are devoted and those who are working day and night for the upliftment of the education standard as well as the weaker section, they must do something. And I'm sure you will get it, and the God will always be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mathuria. Now,
thank you.
Now my second round, although it's a difficult thing because I have to act as a devil's advocate, I have to ask some difficult questions because I want the reality should come to the public, not only the superficial things. Now, my first question goes to Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, you have heard everybody. And I know that your own experience, not only in India, abroad also. We have seen the UK education model. You have also seen USA education model. There, they are very clear. Public schools and private schools. Now, public schools means the government schools, which in India we say, are really very good with all facilities, totally free. Even a country like UK, a city like London, and private schools are charging their fees whatsoever they want to charge. Now, in India, we also have the government schools and private schools. The government schools, although it is free, as Ms. Mathuria has also mentioned, but the infrastructure, the facility is not, I will say, it's negligible, except Delhi. And the Delhi has shown that the government schools or the public schools can lead what others are not. Now, my question to you is, why not we, when we follow many things of the other countries, when we are talking of basic education, why we are not following the basic education model of UK or USA in real spirit, where like in London, I will tell you, my own grandson is going to a public school, not a private school. The reason is very simple, that the quality of education is very good there. And as you mentioned about the transport thing, their condition is that you have to stay in the vicinity of a school, so the child should not use any vehicle. Child should come on foot. Might be 250 or 400 or 500 meters. Is why till now, after so many years of our independence, we are celebrating Amrit Kalash or whatnot. Why until now we have not given any proper planning or thought about the basic education? Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, please.
I think the basic reason here is the emulation effect, which has taken deeper roots. Mrs. Neeraj Mathuria ma'am has really made our work difficult by just raising the bar. The amount of work which she is doing, Mr. Goel, the reform will be coming in our mindset. It is very true, you are accurate. We have examples, and 200 years those people were there. Whatever good system they had set within the 70 years of our independence, this is one thing for one reason or the other. We have allowed it to be destroyed from the public memory. Let me be very serious. Give me a minute to build on this one. Mrs. Neeraj Mathuria, if she does some historical investigation, she will feel so proud that a man named Michael Faraday came to her school, public school, studied till class 4, and his personal circumstances forced him to drop out. And see what Michael Faraday achieved in his life with nothing extraordinary, but for the fact that he was in the country you named. In that century, we had a society which looked at education from a different perspective, Mr. Goel. So now that Mrs. Mathuria has made my life challenging by saying, विद्वानों की संगति में सोच के बोलना पड़ता है, विदेशियों की संगति में मुझे भी सोच के बोलना है, और मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि मथुरिया मैम, आपने पहला कदम तो ले लिया, अमर गोयल साहब तो अब दरवाजे पे खड़े हैं। भगवान आप लोगों को लंबी उम्र दे। कोशिश तो ये करिए कि बाहरी भारतीय समाज के मूल्य चाहे जो भी हो, आप रिनाइसा की ये मूल्य अपने स्कूल में खड़ी कर दें कि आपके 5 साल की पढ़ाई के बाद उसको किसी और शिक्षा की आवश्यकता ही ना पड़े, वो माइकल फैराडे बन जाए। वो बन के हो चुका है, और ये इकलौती उदाहरण नहीं है मथुरिया में। डाल्टन, जिसका नाम आपने सुना है, डाल्टन्स गैस लॉ, आप अगर रिसर्च करेंगे तो पाएंगे कि वो 8वीं क्लास पूरी नहीं कर पाए। तो ऐसे अनेकों उदाहरण हर फील्ड में आपको मिल जाएंगे, विज्ञान के फील्ड में, कला के क्षेत्र में, परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स के क्षेत्र में मिल जाएंगे। सो मुझे बहुत खुशी है गोयल साहब कि आपने कहा कि अलग अलग मॉडल क्यों नहीं करते हम लोग। मैं तो ये कहूंगा, लेट देम गो टू हेल, लेट मिस मथुरिया कंप्लीट हर मिशन। आप जितनी उनकी संभव सहायता कर सकते हैं तन मन धन से, करने के लिए तत्पर रहें, काम हो जाएगा, देश बदल जाएगा। थैंक यू मथुरिया।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sujit Saran, for giving the answer. But yes, you have mentioned that we have not followed them. But still, why we are not following, we have to think. Now, my question goes to Ms. Shalini. Ms. Shalini, you mentioned about the new education policy. Yes, new education policy is very good in one way, that they are giving the liberty to the private institutions to charge the fees as they want. Because today the condition is the fees structure is also being controlled by the government, that you cannot charge more than this. So many seats you have to keep it free, so much things you have to give in the private college also. But if it will be done, do you think that the standard of education will go up? Because once, if you are running a private school, you will charge according to your ability of giving education, your reputation in the market, and then you can charge more. If your reputation is more good, you can charge more. If your reputation of your school is not good, then you have to charge less. So according to you, this education policy, when giving the free hand for the institutions to charge the fees as per their wish, is a good step or it is a regressive step? Ms. Shalini, please.
Mr. Lal, I would like to say fees बहुत ज़्यादा मायने नहीं रखती है when we talk about education, because that is their business. अब जैसे in our school we have our जितने भी 4th grade employees हैं, if we talk about peons, sweepers, all their children are studying in our school only. Parents sometimes they say why they are studying with our children. So my answer to them is, your child can go to any other good school, but they cannot go to any good school. So अगर हम जो आप कह रहे हैं regarding fees से, fees में जैसे अभी हमने करा गर्ल चाइल्ड के लिए, तो फर्क आया जो हमारा जो रेवेन्यू जनरेशन था, पर ठीक है, वो हम उसको किसी और तरीके से कर सकते हैं, we can manipulate it. वो हम अपने लिए थोड़े से जैसे होता है ना, कई मैंने अपने ही इधर अलीगढ़ में देखा है, कई लोगों ने इतने प्रॉफिट मार्जिन्स रख रखे हैं कि दे हैव लग्जरी कार्स, लग्जरी थिंग्स to buy from their whatever they are getting from the fees they are taking from the parents. Why not what we are taking from them, give them back in the form of good education. आजकल एक और प्रॉब्लम आ गई है मिस्टर गोयल, टीचर्स की एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो मैं अभी देख रही हूँ ऑफ लेट बहुत हाई है. They want 60 to 70,000 rupees, as their salary if they are PGTs. So they are few challenges also with us, but then we can meet. We can definitely meet if we can do something like that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अगर हम फीस बढ़ाकर फीस ये सब कर ही कर सकते हैं. हम लोग भी स्कूल रन कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी तरह से कर रहे हैं. We have to counsel our teachers, we have to counsel our parents, we have to keep counseling our children also. and with that, we can have a good education in the society.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Shalini. Now my question goes to Dr. Srivastava. Dr. Srivastava, nowadays we are seeing this online education, whether it's a Bijus or many education, and they are also charging a lot of money. Why it is happening in India? Why it is not happening in country like UK or USA or developed country? Is the reason is that the education quality in our colleges, whether it's a private or government, is such that the student has to take the coaching. And we have seen one city was developed for the admission in the JEE or the NEET, yes, quota. Why it is happened? It is happening because the quality of our education is going down. Either, as Ms. Shalini mentioned, teachers are asking more money, but are they delivering the things which they have to deliver, the education, quality education? Or those coaching students, the coaching institutes are employing those teachers which are out of the world, the top knowledgeable persons, or they are from you, or means that the same faculty of the educators. But because of the greed of the money, they are not educating, giving the proper education which they are supposed to give to the school or college. Honestly, they are imparting that education in coaching institutes. I would like to know very, very clearly, when we talk about affordability, today, as Professor Saran mentioned about the affordability, we think about affordability, we have to see what you are going to become tomorrow. But the student knows that today, when I join a good college, university, I require a coaching also. From where the money will come? And you mentioned about the psychology. What the psychology will do if there is no food in the home?
Okay.
Just imagine that thing. And then we think that after the child, if family is having 2 or 3 children, you require mobile phones or laptops. We have seen in last 2 years, no, nothing from anywhere. In a country like USA, all the children in USA were provided at a tablet or mobile or whatnot, free of charge for the primary schools, so that their education will not be stopped at any moment. We are not interested in that. We want money, whether it's a private or government, to forget it, because they will be termed as a untouchable society, as Ms. Mathuria has very clearly mentioned. So my question to you is, are we honest? And we are blaming government, we are blaming institutions. As Ms. Shalini says, as an educator, are we honest? Are we imparting the real education, or we are not imparting the education which we are supposed to do? Dr. Rajlakshmi Srivastava.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for such a lovely question. That question is very, very close to everybody's heart. I can believe that people don't, even the teachers. I'm also a teacher. I just want to tell that teachers are not able to go beyond their comfort zone. I can give the example in many of the colleges, when they're school especially, the teacher used to say, if you'll come to my coaching, मैं इसको detail में बता दूंगा. Class में जितना बता रहे हैं उतना ही पूछे. Even Shalini ma'am can agree on this कि teacher has to have this habit. And the children always say कि Mama, I have to go to the coaching because sir वहाँ अच्छा पढ़ाएंगे, detail में पढ़ाएंगे. Then for what we are sending us children to school? There is a very, very big gap is there as a teacher. I am also saying accounts के paper में faculty is not able to solve all the questions in class. ठीक है, आप coaching में जाओ, they will give you all the assignment sheet and everything, and the parents are satisfied कि for what reason we are sending us children to school? Only coaching can help. Then we can go to only coaching. If we go to only Byju's or Akash or any other tutorial classes, then where is the need of school? But school was known as a temple. From the very beginning, we say that it's a temple. It's a temple of education. And in the temple, we are doing the corruption. So many teachers actually doing the same thing, that they are bounding the children to come to their coaching. Only then they will get good marks, good knowledge, and then no tricks are given in the classroom. They will ask for the, after the class you can come, we will discuss in detail. In my college, I'm telling you, like for this NGO I was working, Apni Pathshala, we have around 400 faculty members. From last 12 years, I am the only one who are taking care of that. There are so many people from IIT, IIM, abroad also there, but they say, "Arey yaar, time kahan waste karna? Abhi apna kaam to ho nahi pata." So this is a mindset problem, sir. There's a big mindset problem. People don't want to go apart from their comfort zone until and unless they're getting a money in return of that. Okay. So that selfless type of education is lacking in the country, and I'm very true and very harsh in that. And I think this was the answer, that we have to come out from our comfort zone. We have to be honest for our profession. Then there will be no need at all in the my students used to say, "Ma'am, aapki copy dekh lo to exam mein padhna nahi padta," because I really work hard. I am not promoting my teaching, but I'm telling, I used to give in the night also. I'm giving the notes ki koi agar cheez reh bhi gayi 60 hours se class, 60 minutes ke hours a class mein, so I have to give it extra to my children. They should not lack on anything. They should not get any supporting materials from anywhere else. I am responsible for this subject, so it is my duty to complete all the course for them. So this
thank you very much, Dr.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just want to quote 2 lines for like Miss Neeraj. I am so impressed with her कि कुछ किए बिना ही तो जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. तो नीरज मैम, आई एम विद यू. आप जब चाहो मुझे कॉल कर लो. आई जस्ट like leave my number over here. आपको जो जरूरत है, जो भी मदद कर सकती हूँ, आई एम ऑलवेज इन. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Now again, I am thinking that my program has become a platform, but it is good, very good. So then only the people or the viewers or those persons should understand the value. And नीरज जी, मथुरिया जी, मैं तो आपसे सिर्फ इतना ही कहूंगा कि अभी आपने देखा कि हमारे तीनों पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने आपकी वाहिवाही की. ये वाहिवाही इसलिए नहीं की कि आप बोल रही हैं, आप या मैं आपके बारे में कुछ बोल रहा हूँ, क्योंकि आपका काम बोल रहा है. और जो अभी डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर सरन ने एक बात कही, मैं भी उस बात को एग्री करता हूँ कि आप अगर 5 साल की जो पढ़ाई है 1st से 5th तक, अगर आप उस बच्चों को इस तरह बना देंगी कि वो खुदा भी पूछे कि तो क्या चाहता है, वो वाली हालत कर देंगी, तो फिर उनको कहीं भी दिक्कत नहीं आएगी पूरी जिंदगी. और वही बेस होना चाहिए. तो आज मेरा जो आपसे प्रश्न है, आज मैं जानता हूं आपका झुकाव जो है काफी कुछ आज की रूलिंग पार्टी की ओर रहा है. मैंने आपके कुछ प्रोग्राम भी किए हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है. लेकिन क्या आपको लगता है, ऑनेस्टली जवाब दीजिए, कि जो ये आपको 8 साल लग गए एक कमरा बनवाने के लिए कि एक कमरे और बन जाएं, एक जमीन मिल जाए, जबकि गवर्नमेंट की जमीनें हैं, गवर्नमेंट को ही पैसा देना है और गवर्नमेंट कहती है कि हम सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. और आपको फिर मैं बता दूं, जब हम इस नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 की बात करते हैं तो उसमें एक पॉइंट ये भी है, हर दिन 50 नए स्कूल खोले जाएंगे. ये अगर आपको पता है तो मैं आपको इन्फॉर्म कर रहा हूं कि उसमें ये लिखा है. और अब आप सोचिए, जब 50 स्कूल नए खुलेंगे तो एक टीचर, एक हेडमिस्ट्रेस और या प्रिंसिपल होगा, कम से कम 3-3, 4-4 टीचर होंगे, कितना एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट होगा. लेकिन जो एग्जिस्टिंग स्कूल्स हैं, अगर हम उसको ही ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं, तो कहीं आपको लगता है कि जो ये नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है ये एक सिर्फ दिखावा है, ये उस चीज के लिए इंगित करता है कि हाँ बहुत अच्छा सपना है, ड्रीम्स अनलिमिटेड वो है, लेकिन वास्तविकता जो आपने निकाली कि हमारे यहाँ स्कूलों में ये, अभी जब हम एक कमरे को ही नहीं बढ़ा पा रहे हैं तो हम नए स्कूल को खोल के क्या करेंगे? आपका क्या विचार है मथुरिया जी?
मेरा विचार सर यही है कि जैसे नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी तो अभी आई है, तो जरूर खुलेंगे स्कूल. और ये जो हमारा था, इसमें ये केस था कि स्कूल में जगह ही नहीं थी नए कमरे बनाने के लिए, तो मतलब स्पेस ही कम था. वो 80-90 गज जैसे एक फ्लैट होता है उस टाइप से था, बहुत 1960 का बना है वो. उसके बाद किसी ने ध्यान ही नहीं दिया, पता नहीं क्यों. और जब से मैंने वहां पे आया, मैं पहुंची, तभी से मैंने ध्यान दिया. तो ये एक, खैर आपकी बात बहुत सही है कि सरकार को पहले ही ध्यान देना चाहिए, पर जो पहले हो गया वो तो हो गया, पर आगे ध्यान दे रही है सरकारें. अभी कुछ स्कूल तो बहुत अच्छे भी बन गए हैं. और अपना तो यही एक मानना है कि मतलब एक लाइन है कि ये बात और है कि आंधी हमारे बस में नहीं, पर चिराग जलाना तो हमारे इख्तियार में है। तो हम तो चिराग जला रहे हैं और आंधी से लड़ नहीं पाए तो कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ी बहुत तो रोशनी होगी होगी, ये मेरा मानना है।
तो बहुत बहुत बढ़िया बात आपने कही कि चिराग आप जला रहे हैं। अब आखिरी उसमें मैं सिर्फ ये चाहूंगा आपसे ये पूछना, प्रोफेसर सरन, माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज व्हाट advice or suggestion you want to give to the government and to the civil society? One suggestion only, please, to the society and one for the government.
For society, let us sit down, do soul searching, and see why 200 years ago our ancestors were less educated but had better quality of life, left more legacy for us. That is for society. For government, what we will want to say is leave the world of आडंबर। शिक्षा बहुत आवश्यक है, उसको सच्चे मन से, जो भी शिक्षा से जुड़े मंत्रालय हैं, जो भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हैं, उससे कम से कम राजनीति को दूर रखें, क्वालिटी को आगे आने दें। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Dr. Saran. Ms. Shalini, your take. One advice to government and for the public, the society.
गवर्नमेंट को मैं कहना चाहूंगी, जैसे मिस्टर शर्मा ने अभी कहा,
सरन साहब ने,
मिस्टर सरन साहब ने कहा कि वो जो स्कूल्स को जबरदस्ती, जैसे कभी DIOS से कोई नोटिस आ रहा है, पेरेंट्स लिखवा के ले आते हैं, हम कुछ अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, बट कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती हैं कि गवर्नमेंट की हम लोगों को जबरदस्ती वो लोग हम पे एम्फसाइज करते हैं, वो ना करें। और सोसाइटी के लिए मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि सोसाइटी में ऑल स्कूल्स, जितने भी स्कूल्स हैं, ये मेरा मानना है। और शायद एक कभी मैंने पढ़ा था, अमिताभ बच्चन की एक कविता थी, ज्ञान कभी आपका जो विद्या है वो कभी खराब नहीं जाती है। इसी तरह से जो स्कूल्स हैं, हमें वहां पर एजुकेशन देने के लिए हम लोग बैठे हैं, हम वहां सेल करने के लिए नहीं बैठे हैं। प्लीज डोंट सेल एजुकेशन, प्लीज इम्पार्ट एजुकेशन, प्लीज गिव एजुकेशन टू ईच एंड एवरी चाइल्ड, टू ईच एंड एवरी कैटेगरी ऑफ द सोसाइटी। इट इज नॉट कि वो बहुत अच्छे घर से आ रहा है या वो लोअर इनकम ग्रुप से आ रहा है, it should be given to every
okay, thank you very much. Paucity of time. Yes, Dr. Raj Lakshmi.
Yes sir, my like opinion or my suggestion to government is basically that just find out the gap between actual and desired. वो किस, जो हमें एक्चुअल है और जो डिजायर्ड है, उसके बीच में जो गैप आ रहा है, उसके लिए करेक्टिव मेजर्स ले और जरूर ले। जो उसको एक्चुअल में इम्प्लाई नहीं कर रहा है, उसके लिए कुछ ना कुछ पनिशमेंट्स होने ही चाहिए। देन ओनली वी कैन चेंज द सोसाइटी। एंड फॉर सोसाइटी आई सेड कि सोच बदलो तभी देश बदलेगा। अपनी चीजों को, अपने राइट के लिए फाइट करो, अपने आप हम आगे बढ़ जाएंगे। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। नीरज मथुरिया जी, आपका क्या सजेशन है सरकार के लिए और पब्लिक के लिए?
तो यही सजेशन है कि जो भी पब्लिक में मतलब टीचर्स भी हैं, उनके लिए मेरा ये सजेशन है कि स्टडी पे ध्यान देने, मतलब लर्निंग पे ध्यान दें। स्टडी तो हम सुनते ही आ रहे हैं बहुत सालों से, पर उन्होंने जो वास्तव में लर्निंग है ना, उसको सीखना है। दूसरा, कैरिकुलम पे लोग ध्यान दे रहे हैं, कैरिकुलम के अलावा क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग मतलब बच्चे की डेवलप करें। ये मेरा सजेशन है टीचर्स के लिए।
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Viewers, you have seen today that the educators have given their views, and they have given very, very clear views that we, the civil society, is responsible for not giving them the free hand for giving proper education. Number one. Number two, about the government. When we have a model of Delhi government, how they change the system in education in Delhi, why not all the government schools in or across the India should follow that model? After all, somebody is doing good work. We should not, apart from party politics, as Professor Saran says, let not keep the politics in the education. take the model and see to it that everywhere the education should be imparted, the best quality of education should be imparted without consideration of the charges, whether the boy or the girl is paying more or less. The education, as Ms. Shalini says, is not for sale. Education, one has to impart the education, not to sell the education. And this is only possible if the mindset of the civil society changes, mindset of us. We have to change our mindset. We have to think that all the children are God's gift. If they are not educated, the country will not develop, their family will not develop. So that the distinction between boy and girl should not be there. All are same, all are equal. In my opinion, even the girls are better than the boys in many, many folds, but still consider them equal, impart the education to all of them. Yes, those private institutions who are charging so much money, they should understand one thing, even if they are charging money, are they giving that quality education to the students or not? We know very well that there are many schools and colleges charging bombs of money, but their quality of education is not that good. While a school like Ms. Mathuria is running, they are giving the education which can be of very good quality. So viewers, please think very critically. Education can make and build the country for a Vishguru, not that if you are not educated properly by only the luxuries or by doing many other things, you can become Vishguru. No, it is not possible. See the history of the country. It is Vishguru because of our ancient education policies, which were very, very powerful. And that's why one of the panelists said that we are the best brain. But are we going to continue that thing or not? We have to see, and we have to see this new education policy should be implemented. It's a very, very good education policy, but whether it is implemented or not, that we have to see. Already 2 years are passed. The education budget has to increase, not the mere 3.1%. It has to go to, as the NEP mentioned, 6%. Rather, it should go to 9 to 10% of the GDP. Then only we will be able to impart the quality education to everyone. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Now, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And we always try to bring to you every day a new topic on a different thing. So please try to join media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30. And thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Thank you very much, Ms. Shalini Melwa. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajlakshmi Srivastava. Thank you very much, Ms. Neeraj Mathuria. Thank you very much. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.